and welcome back to the Starving Artist Development Podcast, where we talk to Detroit's cultural artists discussing the highs, the lows, artist development, and some of the things that help shape Detroit's originality. I am your host, Gabrielle Caruthers. Today, I am joined by a very special guest, good friend of mine. I haven't seen him in a while, but always, love every time we link up. And
Absolutely.
he, yes, as always, right? And of course, when I met this person, he was doing a set, and he was doing a set at the MGM Casino. And
Man,
I
you're taking it way back.
immediately was like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh my God, this man's set is so amazing. Amazing. And that's when you had the Mohawk.
Mohawk. Yeah.
Mohawk.
Those were the days.
Yep. And those were some great days. But you know what? It's okay because there is always power in pivoting. And he is now pivoted into a new business owner with his chauffeur service, which honestly, we can all use a chauffeur that we can trust. So I would like to introduce no other than Boog.
What up, y'all? What up, Gab? It's been a minute. I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Yes, I'm doing good. I can't complain. I mean, hey, my daughter is keeping me on my toes, as you can see. So
Yeah,
I am not mad. I am not mad. She is keeping me moving and grooving, and I'll take that.
it's
I will
crazy.
take
That
that. But
Mhm.
yes, I
Now that I think about it, the last time we saw each other in person, you weren't even a mommy yet.
I probably wasn't even married yet either. Or I was like, I was at hiding.
Nope.
Let my friend Train said, he was like, you did a Beyonce on us. 1 minute you was just single and you know, living your life, and next thing you know, you pop up with a whole husband and a baby. Just boop. I'm like, yeah, I kept that very private on purpose. Cause I said, listen, the next time y'all see me, it
Mm-hmm.
will be on and popping, ring, everything. I ain't gonna tell nobody my personal business anymore. I will take my L's in silence. But yeah, when I popped back up, I sure did. I popped up with a husband and a whole baby, like, surprise, surprise, surprise,
Like, hey,
surprise.
y'all, I'm back.
But yeah, but I'm back. Okay. But you know what's so funny is that I forgot that that's how far back I go with you. The first time I actually saw you and like got to interact with you was when I did a random, I call it like dilly dally in the D, where I'm just out, you know,
Mm-hmm.
doing me or whatever. And I was out with this one girl that I used to be cool with, and we used to stop by the casino, like some people watching stuff. But I was like, but I need to go and see Boog's set. I gotta go to his set because that's pretty much the only reason why I actually come here. Let me go to his set. And I literally was like, this is the only reason why I will come to the casino, because I don't gamble. I will only come for the DJ sets. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Yeah, it was a lot of
But
people that was like
I
that.
definitely all the time, all the time. But I definitely want to say, you're definitely one of my favorite DJs, and used to, POP hold it down for the people. And I am just, I admire the fact that you are like, one thing about being a business owner is that you have to pivot. Like when you work for yourself, there are just going to be times where you're going to have to pivot in your career, no matter what it is. So I can appreciate you, for honing that, and not being afraid to just be you, in that process. Because sometimes people will see you like in this one realm of your life, and then they'll just put you in a category, and they don't understand that, hey, there are other things that I like to do or want to venture out and do. I'm not just one person. I can do other things. So I can appreciate that, from one cultural artist to another. So tell me, when did you decide it was time to pivot?
Um, that's a good question. I mean, I've pivoted quite a few times. So, like, most people like you met me as a DJ. But before I was DJing, my full-time career as an entrepreneur was as a massage therapist. So that's where my entrepreneurial journey started. I went to school for that and I was practicing that. I was doing it full time. And all the while, I'm honing my DJ skills at the crib in the basement, at my cousin crib, and that kind of just like took over. So that pivot was just kind of like a natural thing because it was, you know, what I love to do, as far as with music. And so, I mean, I kept doing massage part time for a while. I literally did it all the way up until my daughter was born, and then I just decided, I'm just gonna hang it up because it really wasn't um, at that time, at least in my mind. I just couldn't really see myself trying to DJ, still do massage, and be daddy. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
so
Mm-hmm.
I decided to let massage go. Um, and so I still do massage every now and then. There's still people that hit me up, people that used to get massages from me. They always hit me up when they like broke down though. I'd be like, yeah, like this ain't like back in the day. Like I don't do it that often. You gotta prep me. You can't hit me up on the day of like, hey, can you come work on me? Like, nope, I'm busy. And I need my own
Okay, I
prep
got
time to
stuff
get
going
ready.
on.
Yeah, but
I
so yeah,
understand.
DJing just kind of just took over. You know what I'm saying? But even within that, DJing kind of ended up opening a bunch of different doors that I didn't even really see opening. Teaching DJing, I never even had considered that when I started DJing. I just wanted to play music everywhere. Wherever somebody let me play, that's where I was trying to go. You know what I'm saying? And I've always been, I guess you could say, like a bridge to the independent artist community. And so, like, part of the reason I really was like trying to go hard at DJing is because I wanted to be able to put other people's music on, so I could play their stuff.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying, in my sets or whatever, so other people could hear their music. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have the outlets. Internet radio wasn't popping like that yet. Local radio, there was only like a section of local artists that was being played on the radio. So that was just part of my drive. When I started. So it's a bunch of artists here who could testify to it that, I was playing their joints at MGM and everywhere else that I was, what I'm saying, playing. If you was a jazz artist here and I had your joints, guess what? I'm playing your joints at weddings. I'm playing your joints at the corporate events. You know what I'm saying? Anything dinner music, anything jazzy, I'm playing it. If you're an R&B artist, people got the R&B vibes, guess what? Boog playing it. If you hip hop, you got some bangers. If you got some chill joints, depending on what the mood of the event is, I'm playing it. You know what I'm saying? And so I've always tried to just kind of like try to stay connected to the independent artists. And that kind of was what drove me in the beginning. Outside of just really having a passion for music, because I just love music. Like I can be getting in like these crazy zones. You know what I'm saying? Not just being like my own world. I don't even be knowing what be going on around me sometimes. But
Mm.
but yeah. So like teaching DJing, starting my own internet radio station, doing podcasting, and starting my own event company and booking other DJs out and branching out into doing photo booth and lighting and all the other little things that DJs and production companies do at events. Um, Plus, most people didn't know I had background in that stuff anyway, because I like started in sound and lighting when I was like a teenager. So I already had like some of that foundational stuff. So when I started DJing, I just really just kind of like put some of the things I already knew like together and just kind of was like, oh yeah, this disconnect, disconnect, disconnect. Okay, I can pivot and do this, and it all makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like some people don't know
Yeah.
I'm an event planner too. Some people don't know that. So some people don't know that I got a background in decor. My auntie started me out in catering and decor when I was a kid, and so like doing centerpieces and draping and just all types of stuff. Like I got a background of, you know what I'm saying, a lot of stuff creatively. You know what I'm saying, that has kind of always driven me and kept me in the space of, man, what the heck is that? Um, yeah, it's always kept me in a space of, entrepreneurship. So, sorry, I got distracted. I don't know, like that is a weird bug to be like in the crib and it just all of a sudden decided it just wanted to interrupt our podcast. I don't like that.
Well, I admire just the ability for you to like pivot and to stay working for yourself, right? Because something that I know a lot of cultural artists or just, contracted individuals struggle with is one, having sustainable income, like constantly coming in, right? But also diversifying their income when one income is, slow or
Mm-hmm.
there's like pretty much nothing going on, right? And I know like and I don't even like saying that like I was a DJ or I used to DJ, but I can definitely empathize with trying to find that balance of, okay, so I'm a dance teacher, but I also DJ, but I also, edit like audio for the dance teachers whenever they need their music cut and stuff. But I'm also working full time in quality assessment and marketing for a company. So now I have to pick something, right? And ultimately it came down to um my love for dance, right? But also, like you said, music. You can get lost in music, and it's something about music that it puts you frozen in time where sometimes you don't even know what's going on, but you're so engulfed in the music that nothing else matters, right? And with that, music is not only universal, but it's healing and it's therapy. And like I said, I know for me, when I used to go to the MGM casino just to hear your sets, it was therapeutic for me. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I definitely want to tell you one, thank you for even providing a space where you can make it to where everybody from all walks of life will want to come and just party and break bread and hang out with each other and work on some type of like just forming community, right? And I don't know if you realize it or not, but you essentially birth community by being a pillar as a cultural artist because you've pivoted and you've done so much with the city of Detroit, right? And you've done so many things in so many different avenues. So I just have to tell you that, like, one, thank you. Thank you for being a cultural artist here in the city and for really putting on for the city and for looking out for your people here in the city, right? Because as a DJ, some DJs don't think like, hey, I want to do this because I want to be able to share other people's music. It's not necessarily about me. It's bigger than me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even with you carrying out the legacy of Sound Off Sunday, I mean, that's big within itself. And I've attended several Sound Off Sundays, and I want to commend you for continuing to carry out those open mic nights for other aspiring artists because I know one, they trust you, right? And you provide a safe space for them to come and share their art. And with everything that's going on in the city, you have these different investors coming in and they, see, yeah, Detroit is popping and we have these amazing artists and this and that. And we can kind of like come in and help y'all. But it's like the thing is that we have people that are helping people and not all heroes wear capes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just have some people that are just really passionate about the city's talent and just want to be a part of the change that is going on in the city. And I know you've done that for many years. And I hope somebody is able to recognize that on an even bigger level, because I still feel like there are accolades that you should have received as a cultural artist, that there are people here that are receiving who's who in Black Detroit or Black Detroit's top 40s. And I'm like, what have you done for the city that this person has already done for the city? Right. So for me, again, what you're doing and what you continue to do, I know that you genuinely do it from a place of love because you genuinely care about your people and you genuinely care about the city. So thank you. Thank you for that.
I
And
appreciate that. Appreciate the love. I appreciate
because
that.
it's hard, especially when it's you pushing out these projects, and sometimes you don't always have people to back you with the funding. But when you
Hmm.
have a vision or a mission to keep to continue to drive these projects out, you know, you do what you can with what you have. So I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. And I know that there are many artists here that appreciate you for providing that space for them. And I hope you do know that you are genuinely doing the Lord's work. As I say, you're doing the Lord's work. So thank you. Thank you, Bud.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, Sound Off Sundays is man. Shout out to my guy Ken. It's just still kind of crazy to think about him not being here. But I don't even think a lot of people know. I mean, I know some people know, but I was one of the people that inspired him to start an open mic. When I was doing it in the past, and he was towards the end of my run. That's when he kind of caught wind of what I was doing and started coming. Because at that time, I think I was doing my open mic event at mm,
On Grand River? Was it on Grand River with the tacos?
well, this was after that, because Ken never came to the spot on Grand River. That was like probably like the best spot that we did it at, just because of it was like early, you know what I'm saying, with the start of that event, and it just kind of like grew there. You know what I'm saying? Before we left out of that space or whatever. And yeah, $2 tacos was slapping back then. You had to be there to know the phenomenon of those tacos.
Yeah, the
um,
tacos were
so
addictive.
yeah, so from there, when we ended up going to Piper Carter and DJ Sakari's spot, that's kind of when other people in other sectors of the creative community kind of caught wind of what I was doing. So that's how I ended up meeting Ken, not knowing when I first met him that he had dabbled in poetry and all that stuff. When I met him, I was just introduced to him as, Ken, and you know, um, he just like supporting the artists or whatever. And so once I found out that he was hosting, had started hosting, I'm like, oh yeah, like that's what's up. I'm like, keep me posted and whatever you got going on, I'm in there. And so he started doing sound off at Baltimore Gallery um with my man Phil, the smile guy. Shout out to Phil. He put a lot of people on too. A big influential person in the creative space too, that people should show love to. I know they know him as the smile guy and all the art and all of those things, but before that, he was on the ground with everybody else. That's how I met him, through his artistry. He was rapping, you know what I'm saying, and doing his thing and hosting. And then once he took over Baltimore Gallery, he was able to combine his love for music and his love for art. And then his art kind of like started taking off during that time, and took off after, the gallery closed or whatever. And so just being connected to all those brothers, um, it's always been meaningful to me to be able to I had guys who, we all, look at the creative space the same. We have a heart for other people in the creative space. It was never about putting us before other people in the creative space. You really wanted to be able to have people feel like they had a home. You wanted people to feel like they had a voice. That the things that they say, their viewpoints, that those things matter within the context of their art, and it does. And so to be able to have those brothers, we had a lot of conversations back then. You add my boy Equad, rest in peace to Equad. All of us was like really, like they say, getting it out the mud back then. You know what I'm saying? It was grinding every week, what I'm saying, to put people on and get people in to the building to come share their art and, spread the word and tell people to come here like this. Let's make this a hub, you know what I'm saying? And so it was like really dope, after my transition out of that space to kind of like supporting other people, to see Ken kind of like take the mantle and just like really like run with it and like put sound off, in a whole different you know, space, stratosphere, really. You know what I'm saying? When you got people that's seeking you out from all over the country and popping in and making trips just to come here, like that's a big deal. And we got to see it even more, you know, once he passed. I couldn't even really grasp the reach that he actually had. And not only um, on the music side of things, but just in the creative space. And then you add his love for wrestling, which he really kind of like dove into even more. You know what I'm saying? Like it was crazy to see his evolution. It was just like he got to this point and was like, you know what? Like whatever I like, I'm gonna just do that. And I can do both of
Yeah.
these things or all of these things and it be good because I'm being me. And so, I've always championed people like him and everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're creative don't mean that limits you to one thing in your creativity. Like anything that you have an interest in, anything that, what I'm saying, gets you going. If you always gonna have more than one passion. I know some people don't think that's true. A lot of us have more than one passion, and it all connects to what our
Mhm.
purpose is. And so you just can't be afraid to just be who you are. It's okay. Show all facets of who you are. And so as an entrepreneur, you always have to do that. I feel like you really don't have a choice but to show, all the facets of who you are. It's also entrepreneurship journey is also your path of discovery. So the things that you didn't even know you were capable of, the things that, that you're able to learn and, pick up on, and things that you're able to hone and sharpen, you wouldn't know if you weren't an entrepreneur. Like it puts you in spaces and predicaments to where you gotta do certain things, you gotta push yourself, you gotta research and find a way to get certain tasks or certain things done in order to keep your business going, right? Um, and for those that really dig deep, you find a way to connect to other people who can connect to your vision and do the things and work in the areas that you may be weak in. Like you get to the point where
Mm.
you start pinpointing where your weaknesses are and be like, you know what, I can delegate this to this person because they actually good at this. I'm gonna keep learning. I want to still be a part of the process, but I'm giving this to you. Like at some point you got to be able to trust that you can give something to somebody and they keep it going for you. You know what I'm saying? Because, I think the downfall of a lot of entrepreneurs is that you still got a lot of folks who continue to have to try to do everything um, that is connected to their business in order for it to run. And there's really no way for you to be able to do everything, and all of those things are ran well. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just going to be dropping the ball somewhere. This you can be great at multitasking, but even being great at multitasking, you can't be 100% with everything. You just can't, because your attention can't be on everything 100%. Your attention is divided. And when your attention is
Yep.
divided, you know what I'm saying, there are going to be some things that's going to lack. And then you got to come back and try to pick it up. Or you got to get to that point where you learn how to trust other people to be a part of your process. You know what I'm saying? And so that's hard for a lot of people. And that's a whole little thing right there. That's layered, because a lot of that stuff be stuff that don't even have nothing to do with your business, that you gotta
Mm.
you know, get past and heal from. So but the entrepreneurship journey, man, it's something else. I've had to pivot out of necessity. You know what I'm saying? Like, money tight, you got to figure out what's another way I can keep doing what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? Keep bringing the money in. Sometimes money is the motivation. Then sometimes it really could just be you've been wanting to try something and just decide, I'm gonna go ahead and try it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of really been me.
Yeah.